Hello everyone. So today we'll be discussing the Great Nicobar Development Project because the context is, so today in the Hindi newspaper this article has come in the editorial, and what kind of questions they can ask in the prelims. In the prelims they can ask factual questions such as where is this 10-degree channel located, what is the southernmost point of India, which is the southernmost biosphere reserve of India, and in this biosphere reserve which national parks are there. Like that they can ask the factual questions. So when it comes to the mains, so they will ask the questions like development versus conservation and sustainability versus strategic development and tribal rights versus economic development. So basically if you see, there is always a tussle between the ecology and economy. So you have to focus on this part only. So whenever you come across such kind of articles in the paper, so you have to analyze the previous year questions and look what is the core theme here. The core theme here is ecology versus economy. Okay, and in ecology, the tribals will also come and the forest will also come. And in economy, the economic development will come as well as the strategic development will also come here. Next, what are the various project components here? So firstly, it will be having International Container Transshipment Terminal. It will be located in the Galatea Bay. And secondly, it will be having a Greenfield International Airport. And for the people who are working here, you will be having a township area also. So along with this, you will be having, because in सब चीज़ों के लिए बिजली चाहिए, so that's why you will be having a gas powered thermal power plant and also a solar power plant. So these are the projects which have been conceived now, and the cost of the project will be around 70 to 80,000 crore rupees. Now, when these projects will be constructed, obviously you'll be having ecological damage here. So with respect to that, they can ask, I'll tell you some of the prelims pointers here. So they can ask, what is the southernmost biosphere reserve of India? So southernmost biosphere reserve is the Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve. And this Great Nicobar Biosphere Reserve has two national parks, Campbell Bay National Park and Galatea National Park. And when such developmental activities will be taking place, obviously you will be having the rivers eroded, you will be having the rivers deteriorated. So remember some of the important rivers over here. So you have the Galatea River, Alexandria River, Amrut Kaur River. So these are the three important rivers. If you want to remember only one river, then remember Galatea River here. And they can also ask, what is the highest peak of the Great Nicobar? So highest peak is Mount Thulier. It's also the second highest peak of entire Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. And next here, what will be the effect on the tribals? Now look at the tribal people here. These are all PVTGs. These are vulnerable tribal groups. They are still into hunting and gathering. Now, if these developmental projects are taking place here, these tribal people will be displaced from here. So when they will be displaced, they will be losing their livelihood because their livelihood is entirely dependent upon this island. And also the cultural erosion will also take place because their culture is intertwined with this habitat. So when they will be removed from this habitat, again cultural erosion and identity loss will be taking place. And secondly, when the others will be coming, when the outsiders will be coming here, they'll also bring in new diseases. And these people, since they are not in contact with the outsiders for a long period of time, so when they come in contact with the normal people like you and me, so they'll become very vulnerable to diseases. So these are all the impacts on the tribal people here. And what can be the ecological impact? Now you see the pristine environment over here. So you'll be having coral reefs, and the Great Nicobar has equatorial type of biome, equatorial forests. So it is very rich in terms of biodiversity. There's such kind of rich biodiversity will be lost with the construction of all these projects. And also when you'll be constructing the ports here, you'll be doing dredging, you'll be building the groyons, the barriers, etc. So the ships will be coming and going. There can be oil spills, okay, because you're building a deep sea port over here, and the coral reefs will be destroyed and the pristine environment will also be destroyed. And secondly, this Andaman and Nicobar group of islands is located along the Sunda Java Trench. which is again seismically very active, because here you have a subducting oceanic slab. In fact, the 2004 tsunami has occurred here only off the coast of Sumatra. So, all these projects can become vulnerable to the natural disasters like tsunamis and earthquakes. Now, what can be the legal and procedural questions over here? So, this is very important. So, the FRA, Forest Rights Act 2006, empowers the Gram Sabhas, so empowers this tribal against any eviction. They cannot be evicted that easily, and if the forest or the minor forest produce has to be used, okay, by the government or any contractor, then their permission has to be taken. Now here eviction, सीधा सीधा इनका eviction हो रहा है, so obviously the Gram Sabha's permission has to be taken, and various rights groups, civil society organizations, the tribal organizations, they're claiming that whatever the government has complied with is not being followed. That means इनसे जबरदस्ती land छीना गया. And moreover, these Gram Sabhas have become more powerful with the extension of the PISA over here. So these are all the legal complications here. And next, now why the government of India is pursuing it. So if you look at the map, you'll understand this. The government of India is pursuing because, so this is where the Andaman and Nicobar group of islands is located, and this is one of the important sea routes. It is important sea lanes of communication, also called as SLOC. So when you are having a base over here, because the airport which will be constructed, that will be military and civilian in nature. So when you will be having a deep sea port over here, when you will be having international transshipment terminal over here, so it will add a lot to a strategic advantage. So when you are having a military base over here, so it will overlook the South China Sea and the Malacca Strait, so which is strategically very important for China. And secondly, this is also important SLOC, that is sea lanes of communication. So when you will be having this transshipment terminal, the ship will come here, they will come and rest here, the sailors will come and rest, and the ship repairs can also take place, and the sailors will come and do repair of the ship, oiling, servicing, etc. So it will add a lot to the economy. And moreover, the India can also become an important partner in the Indo-Pacific region if you are having a very good deep port over here. So this is a strategic advantage. So that is why the government of India is hell-bent on pursuing such kind of projects. Now, can the FRA stop the project? So this is very important question. The thing is, if the rights as said in the FRA, PESA, are being followed, obviously the local people will be opposing it. So they will not give ahead, they will not give green signal to these projects. But again, what the government of India is saying is that since the union territories are under the control of the central government, the government is giving the excuse of national security argument. So that is where the projects are being fast-tracked, and the permissions are also given without proper consultation at the ground level. So these are the problems. Now what we can do to solve this problem? So recommendations. The recommendation is the offshore transshipment terminal. So can we locate it on the land instead of locating it on island? Or can we choose other small island for the transshipment terminal instead of this great Nicobar island? And secondly, instead of going for large ports and large products, can we scale it down? Can we break it and make it smaller? And next is, there should be strict biozone development. Means there should be a no-go area. Means if the tribals are residing in an area, like we have declared Jarawa Reserve in the Andaman group of islands. So can we declare such kind of a reserve over here? And next, off-island logistic hub development. So can we secure any other strategic place instead of this Great Nicobar? Next, whatever benefits you are getting out of these projects, the local people should be involved. The benefits should be shared with the local people. So when they are made partners in the development, obviously, they will agree with the developmental projects. So we should not be ignoring their rights and their livelihood. And next, immediately what can be done is that pause irreversible works which are very sensitive. So until and unless you are not giving everything which has been claimed in FRA, so these kind of projects should not be given go ahead. These kind of projects should not be given a green signal. So nextly, the EIA, environmental impact assessment, should be conducted, and whatever recommendations are being made in the EIA, they should be followed in letter and spirit. Means if at all, see, if you are constructing the project, say you are constructing a terminal here, and the fishery resources will be lost, then a proper compensation has to be made. So that is all the mitigation efforts. And nextly, alternative studies also should be done. So instead of doing all these projects here, can we choose any other place? And next, whatever legal safeguards have been provided in the constitution have to be provided in letter and spirit. So daily like this, we'll be discussing the whatever comes in the Hindu with respect to the geography, environment or science and technology. So we'll choose one topic per day. So please follow this channel. Okay, if you like it, comment. If you don't like, then also comment. Okay, we'll make improvements. Thank you.